Faith in the Fire, the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. In the heart of Babylon stood a monument of pride, a colossal image of gold gleaming under the desert sun. It wasn't merely a statue, it was a statement. King Nebuchadnezzar, the most powerful ruler of his time, had built it to declare his greatness. 90 feet tall, shining like a second sun, the golden idol demanded one thing: worship. And so the decree went out, from the highest official to the lowest servant. Everyone was commanded to bow when the royal music played flutes, harps, lyres, and horns, blending into one thunderous call to submission. But somewhere in the crowd stood 3 young Hebrew men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego men, who served the king faithfully, yet refused to surrender their hearts to any god but the Lord of heaven. When the music began and the multitude bowed, the 3 remained standing. Heads turned, whispers rippled through the crowd. In a sea of bent backs, 3 silhouettes defied an empire. Music shifts, low tension strings. The news reached the king quickly. No one defied Nebuchadnezzar and lived to tell the story. His face burned with anger as he ordered the guards, "Bring them to me now." Moments later, the palace doors burst open. The 3 Hebrews were dragged before the throne. The king leaned forward, his crown glinting like fire. "Is greater than Nebuchadnezzar. Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the golden image I set up? I will give you one more chance. When you hear the sound of the instruments, if you fall down and worship, all will be well. But if you do not, you will be thrown immediately into a blazing furnace. Then what god will be able to rescue you from my hand?" The courtroom fell silent. Soldiers watched, priests waited. The 3 men glanced at one another, not in fear, but in shared faith. Then Shadrach stepped forward, his voice steady as stone. "Is greater than Shadrach. O King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. The God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the blazing furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand. But even if he does not, be it known to you, O King, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image you have set up."
A gasp spread through the hall. No one had ever spoken to the king like that. Nebuchadnezzar's fury erupted like thunder. "Nebuchadnezzar, heat the furnace 7 times hotter." Sound cue, roaring fire, chains, shouts. Soldiers rushed to obey, the air filled with the hiss of burning oil and the crackle of rising flames. The furnace glowed white, heat waves twisting the air itself. The 3 men were bound with ropes, hands and feet tied, their royal garments still on them, a sign that this was no secret execution, but a public example. The guards carried them up the furnace ramp, the heat so intense that even the soldiers themselves fell and died as they threw the men into the flames. And then, silence. The crowd waited, expecting screams. The fire roared louder, but no cry came. Seconds turned to minutes. Confusion spread like smoke. Nebuchadnezzar squinted through the furnace opening, his eyes wide in disbelief. Nebuchadnezzar, "Wait, did we not throw 3 men bound into the fire?" Advisor, "Yes, O king." Nebuchadnezzar, "But look, I see 4 men walking in the midst of the fire, and they are unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." Inside the fire, the impossible was happening. The ropes that bound them had burned away, yet not a hair on their heads was singed. The flames surrounded them like sunlight through glass, warm, bright, powerless. And walking beside them was a radiant presence, the angel of the Lord, divine and majestic, whose very glow silenced the fire's rage. Peace filled the furnace. Faith had called heaven into the heart of heat. Outside, soldiers shielded their faces from the brightness. The king's anger melted into awe. "Nebuchadnezzar, servants of the Most High God, come out." Slowly, the 3 men stepped out of the furnace. Their clothes were intact, their hair untouched, and the Bible says there was not even the smell of smoke on them. The crowd gasped, backing away as the reality hit. The same fire that killed soldiers couldn't touch those who stood with God. Nebuchadnezzar fell to his knees, the king who once demanded worship, now bowing in wonder. Nebuchadnezzar, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him. They defied the king's command and yielded their bodies rather than serve or worship any god except their own. Then the king issued a new decree. No one in Babylon shall speak against the God of these men, for there is no other God who can save like this. And the three Hebrews were promoted in the province, honored before the same empire that once condemned, but now pause and think. What was their secret? They didn't negotiate with fear. They didn't wait for proof before trusting God. They believed, even if deliverance didn't come. That's the kind of faith that rewrites history. The furnace was real, the threat was deadly, but their confidence was deeper than fire. They understood something eternal. Courage isn't the absence of danger, it's the presence of conviction. Every generation faces its own furnace. For some, it's public opinion. For others, it's poverty, rejection, betrayal, or fear. But the lesson of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is timeless. Stand firm in what you believe. Don't bow just because everyone else does, and trust that when you walk through the fire, you're never alone. Because somewhere in that flame, unseen but real, walks the same God who entered the furnace that day. The one who turns fire into testimony. They walked in bound, but came out free. They entered condemned, but emerged promoted. That's the power of standing tall when others kneel. So, whatever your furnace looks like today, remember their story. Faith doesn't always take you around the fire. Sometimes it takes you through it. But on the other side of that fire is freedom, favor, and proof that no king, no threat, and no circumstance can burn away destiny. This is the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, three men who proved that faith is stronger than flames. And as long as courage still breathes in the hearts of men and women, their fire will never die. My friend, listen. Life will test your faith. The flames will rise, and people may watch, waiting for you to fall. But if you stand firm, like those three men, you won't burn, you'll shine. Every furnace you survive becomes proof of your purpose. Every fire you endure makes your story unshakable. Stay faithful, stand tall. Even in the fire, God walks with you. Narration outro, soft tone. When faith meets fire, miracles are born. This is your sign. Don't bow to fear. The same God that saved them still saves today. Subscribe for more faith-filled stories that inspire courage and light your spirit.